I'm Savannah Sky, and this is the Savannah Sky Show. Number 8, part 1. Who knows how many parts this show is going to have. This show is about alcoholism, how it affects children, how it affects the actual alcoholics, ways that maybe you could help yourself get off of it, addiction of any kind, drug, alcohol, it doesn't matter. Let's cut to the chase. My experiences aren't great. Alcoholism, unfortunately, runs in my family, and so does drug abuse. And it's not like growing up with an alcoholic father. Before I say anything, I want to say, even though my dad was an alcoholic, even though we fist fought, even though this, even though that, he was there. My mother wasn't. He was there. Okay, my mom took off when I was like 2. My dad was there, and it takes one hell of a man to be an alcoholic and still stand there and raise his daughter. You know what I'm saying? He may be an asshole, he may be racist, he may be this, he may be that, but he was there. And I just want to point that out before I say anything. Cutting to the chase though, I remember times my dad would wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a school night and ask me to come jam out with his band, come listen to the song that he had just wrote, come sing the song with him, come do the thing with him, like what with his band, like whatever. Like, that's not cool. You need to let a kid go to school. That's why I missed out on so many things in school, I feel like, because he woke me up so late at night so many times throughout my entire life. Not just when I was young, throughout my entire life he did this. To my younger years, I remember being put in foster care. Yeah, that wasn't fun. I hated it. It wasn't fun. Thank God for my Aunt Teen and my Aunt Dawn for helping me and getting me out of that situation. I will be doing shout outs to some women at the end of this show. But first, back to my experiences. As I got older, well, anyway, my dad being an alcoholic, he couldn't keep a job. So we moved around. I moved 109 times in the first 16 years of my life. 109 times. It varied the length that we lived places, 2 to 7.5 months, if I was lucky, 7.5 months. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, you know, whatever. But I hated it. It's really tough being the new girl in school, in elementary school, in middle school, and in high school. It's really hard. And I feel like that made me not like school because I had to move so much. Maybe if I had been in one place, I was always so jealous of the kids who had been in that same school their entire life and knew everybody. And I was always so jealous, you know, but I mean, God has a plan for everybody, and this is God's plan for me. Well, that was God's plan for me. He did that to me for a reason, and I'll explain the reason probably part 2. It affected me a lot. I acted out, you know, because I felt like my dad was ruining my life by spending all his money on beer. Where were my nice clothes for school? Where were my new shoes at? Where was my guitar at? You know what I'm saying? Why did you have to spend all your money on beer? Why couldn't you put us in a nice place, not in the ghetto? Why couldn't you ever rent a house, not an apartment? You know what I'm saying? Like, why couldn't you think of me first instead of your addiction? But you have to understand that when someone is an alcoholic, like my dad, for example, when he's sober, he's the coolest, smartest, most amazing guy in the entire world. But when he's an alcoholic and he's drunk, I mean, he's a monster. Like, I remember times being so young, 15 years old, fist fighting with my dad. I don't even think I was 15 yet, I think I was 14. Fist fighting with my dad, a grown-ass man, because he's drunk in my face, accusing me of something I didn't do. I mean, I have a scar on my back from that fight. It was a effed up situation. And that's not the only time we fought. We fought probably about a good 7 times. And that's not right. You should never put your hands on your daughter, ever. Except to pop her on the butt when she does something wrong. But don't you fucking ever put your hands on your daughter like the way he put his hands on me. That is wrong. Wrong. And if your parents ever put their hands on you like that, don't be afraid to speak out and tell somebody. Don't. Because that was my biggest mistake, is just letting it fly by. In my entire life, I just let his alcoholism fly by, and that was my biggest mistake. And I want to stress that to you so much. Don't let that shit slide by. Tell somebody what's going on. Don't keep your mouth shut. Tell somebody what is going on. my shout out to these women. I want to do that now because I know it's going to take me a minute and I know I'm going to cry. The first shout out that I want to do is to my Aunt Dawn and my Aunt Christine. They saved my life. They are still to this day outstanding women. They are amazing. They're on my mom's side of the family. They're amazing, and they literally saved my life when I was young. Like, my Aunt Dawn took me into her home. I remember my Aunt Christine took me into her home later on in life. I mean, these women, you wouldn't believe the things that they've done for me. I love you so much, Aunt Dawn. I love you so much, Aunt Apollo. Sorry, Aunt Christina. Now I want to thank my Aunt Apollo. I remember times that my dad would be drunk, and he would, one time in particular, he chased me with a belt for no reason. I had done nothing wrong. He was chasing me with a belt. I was scared to death, okay? I was probably 11 at this time. I run over to my Aunt Apollo's house begging her, please, Mama, please, please don't let him hurt me. And she like pretty much fist fought him down to get him away from me because she loved me that much. That is real love. And thank you, Mama Apollo, because if it wasn't for you, I would have gotten my ass beat, and I probably, like, if that would have happened, I don't know how things would have turned out. I don't know how I would have turned out, so thank you. And I remember several times, that's only one example, that's the most extreme example, but I remember several times you fought my dad for me, and I love you always and forever, Mama Apollo. The next shout out is to Mama Robin. I love you, Robin, so much. You showed me how to be like a respectable woman, and thank you. You took me into your home. You treated me like I was your daughter, and to this day you still think of me like that, and no matter, you know my past, and you still love me, and that makes me feel so good. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Mama Robin. And my final shout out is to Kim. I don't call her Mama Kim because she's more of my best friend, but I guess she is kind of my Mama Kim. Thank you, Kim, because I remember several times me and my dad fighting. I remember one time the police brought me to your house because of our fighting, and you let me stay with you so many times, and thank you so much for everything that you've ever done for me. Thank you for everything. You seriously, you showed me how to be a professional woman. You, like, I already had a good work ethic, but you showed me that it doesn't matter how I am, how my life is right this minute. I can go to college and I can do things with my life. And thank you for that, because I always wanted to go to college and things like that, but you really kind of, you know, let me know that it's possible for me, and that I'm not just some, you know, bum girl that's gonna end up at, like, nobody. I'm gonna be somebody. And thank you. I love you, Kim. I love you, Mama Robin. I love you, Mama Apollo. I love you, Aunt Christine. I love you, Aunt Dawn. You women literally saved my life, and I want you to know that. Because of you 5 women, like, I wouldn't be who I am sitting right here. Who knows where I would be? I'd probably be just like my mom, or just like my dad, some alcoholic, some druggie somewhere, something, like pregnant by now, like 10 kids by now. Like, thank you so much. You saved my life. Thank you. I just can't express to you, like, I really can't. I'm trying so hard not to cry. Oh my God, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Okay. I just want to say one thing to the kids whose parents are alcoholics. I don't care if you're young and your parent is an alcoholic, if you're a grown-up and when you were a kid your parent was an alcoholic, or they still are, or if you're old and you remember times when your parent was an alcoholic. If you want to talk to me, confide in me, anything, if you want to ask me questions on how I dealt with situations, if you just want to share your story with me, post it on my wall, on my YouTube channel. If you don't feel comfortable with that, you can message me on YouTube. If you don't feel comfortable with that, and I will never say any names or anything like that, everything will be completely between you and me. I swear. Scout's honor. Actually, what I do is pinky promise, Thumbelina, kiss it, turn around twice, deal sealed. But yeah, don't forget that. But if you don't want to put it on YouTube, you can email the show's email, savannahskyshow@hotmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I can help somebody. I just want to leave out with a website that you should visit if you are an alcoholic or addicted to drugs or anything. ADHL.org. The way that I remember it is alcohol drug helpline.org. ADHL.org. This has been Savannah Sky Show number 8, part 1.